Good evening, Lagos. Welcome to the Big Hard Facts. We're live on Facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. This evening, we're talking about the battle for the ballot. Yes, not voting, but the counting. Yeah, because once again, Nigeria's elections are at a crossroads. The Senate has just passed an Electoral Act amendment bill, but rejected a proposal that would make electronic transmission of results mandatory. Now, let's break that down. What was proposed was simple but powerful. The presiding officers electronically transmit polling unit results in real time to INEC's IREP portal immediately after coalition. Coalition, I beg your pardon. Why am I saying coalition? I beg you. The Senate said no. Instead, they retained the older version of transmitting polling unit results. The 2022 Electoral Act said whatever means that the INEC can, or whatever available means. So if there's no, you can just decide to go manual. That's what the status quo was in 2022. Now, why does it matter, and why is everyone talking about it? Is it much ado about nothing? Well, because Nigeria has over 176,000 polling units. And historically, the most vulnerable point in our elections has not been the voting, but the movement of results from polling units to the coalition centers. Ballot boxes have been snatched. Result sheets have been altered. Figures have been rewritten between ward and state coalition centers. Now, civil society groups are arguing you, the voter, as you get ready for 2027. Joining me to have this conversation is Ebenezer Wikina. He is a policy shapers. He joins me live from Port Harcourt. I also am being joined by Segun Sopitan, who is of ACT Network, both gentlemen of civil society organizations. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us, and welcome to Hard Facts.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maryann, for having us.
Great. Segun, can you hear me? Are you there? Are you close to your because we can't hear you and we can't see you. Segun Sopitan. Segun, hello, are you there? Are you alive? Tell us, let us know. Anyway, let's start. I'm hoping that Segun can join us as soon as possible. What exactly did the Senate reject? Mandatory transmission or transmission itself? I want to play a clip quickly before we start the conversation, guys.
Sure.
It's a clip that we got from the National Assembly earlier today, where some senators were telling us something totally different from what the Senate president had said to us initially. So let's go to that clip quickly. I want to play just for the benefit of everyone who's joining us, and then we'll get into the conversations proper. Ebenezer and Segun, please just, give us some time to play those clips. I'll start with the very first one, and then we'll move on to others.
The Harmonization Committee was set up also yesterday because when the House version and the Senate version differ, because there were so many other things, including timelines, that now differed. You set up a harmonization. Those harmonization is what you use to make sure that you come to one single document which the president will now sign. So that is where we are at the moment. But I need to add one further thing so that Nigerians can rest assured. After our session, plenary session yesterday, we adjourned, but did not come back to pass the votes and proceedings. And that is our rule, and you all who are here, you know it. The Harmonization Committee cannot meet because the document that we use to go to the harmonization is the document passed by us. The Harmonization Committee was set up.
All right, so that's the very first clip. I'm going to play you the next clip. Just bear with me. I want to make sure that you follow everything that Senator Onyinaya Baribe, who is the leader of this team, is saying. Please pay attention. Apologies, I'm going to play the original
we
clip.
felt, those of us who are still around, that it would be necessary to make a clarification of what happened yesterday, to put the records straight. Yesterday, the Senate did not, I repeat, did not pass transfer of results, which was in the 2022 Act. What we passed, and which the Senate President himself, when he was doing a clarification sitting on his chair, is transmission of results. And I need to make this very clear. Every one of us who is a senator, who has the privilege to represent a senatorial district, came here under the trust of their senatorial zone. And the reason for us to go into a closed session was so that we can tidy up all the niggling things inside there. And when we now come back to plenary to pass it, that we will pass it without any rancor. I can assure you, on my honor and the honor of all of us who are standing here, that the electoral committee of the Senate, then the ad hoc committee of the Senate, and also in the executive session that we had, that we all agreed on section 63, which is electronic transmission of votes.
Right. Well, that said, it's time for us to get into the conversations proper. That is Senator Ina Baribe there, flanked by other members of the Senate. And of course, the big question, obviously, what the reports that the Senate president had swiftly reacted, saying that they will stick to status quo of 2022. But Senator Ina Baribe is here saying that this is a matter of semantics, that they actually are, for electronic transmission of results. So let me start from here. Exactly is the case. What would we be the case? I'll start with you, Ebenezer.
I have the 22 acts opened. Yeah. And the section that is in all of the rancor, right, is section 60,
subsection 3,
subsection 5.
Oh, 5.
Yeah, section 3, subsection 5 as well. That says the prosecuting officer shall transfer the results, including total number of accredited voters and the results of the ballot, in a manner as prescribed by the commission. This was what was in it. And that manner, according to them, promised us during the last election that the manner would be RF and BBAS. And at the time when this act was being made, and so all of us going to 2023, the INEC commission and the INEC chairman, that results would be transmitted electronically, because that's what he said. When it wasn't transmitted electronically, they go to court. We were pissed. They're like, yeah, I mean, this is what he said. Cancel the election, etc. We went to court, and the Supreme Court said it is not in the law. That's a guideline by INEC, right? It's not in the law that it must be transmitted electronically. And so all of us were like, oh, so we slept and we goofed at that point, right? Because when the act was being formed, we should have insisted it should have been put in the law. So they're like, it's not in the law. So in the areas where it wasn't transmitted, it's okay. And so that's how this whole court issues following the elections were swept under the carpet. Now we have come back to the point where we want to put it in the law, right? And we want to say it's not just going to be an issue of whatever semantics they say. No, it has to be mandatory electronic transmission of results. Like you rightly said in introduction, our biggest loophole in our election has been at this point. It's usually not at the voting point. There are some issues around voting, and I hope we can talk about that, around voter ID and stuff. There's some issues there. There are issues with vote buying and stuff. But when people actually do go out to vote, especially the new generation, between the polling units and the collation center, there's always a lot that happens. In fact, we've seen results in elections here in the country where some people have, even at collation center, have said, "Oh, I'm under duress reporting this result," but the result has stood, right? There's so much that happens there. And so we're saying, how do we go over the middleman? That's, force that disrupts the election, and use technology to leverage this system and say, okay, how can technology help us so that the true result that is there from the polling unit goes to a central system and we can all see it? We that voted, those in other states can confirm it and say, yeah, I'm seeing from so state. Is it true? Polling unit XYZ, did you vote this? And we that are there can say, yes, that's actually what we voted. That is transparency. So I don't understand I think first things first, I want to even first of all say that I'm highly disappointed in the Senate that it took this long to deliberate on this issue. 3 months, 4 months, and this is the best they could come up with. They're the highest paid Senates in the world. We don't pay you to sit inside cars with AC and sit in offices with AC to give us this kind of, hogwash, empty, acts at the end after such a long time, because the House had finished this in December, right? This is February. Maryann, you and I know we work in private organizations. If you're given a deadline, this week alone, I've done 4 reports this week. I've worked across 4 organizations.
I have deadlines every day.
Is that Segun, right? You cannot explain away your deadlines. You can't it's not just to say, oh, okay, I have a deadline, I can do it or not do it. So they took such a long time, and the Nigerians are your bosses. And you kept us waiting for this long time, and you've now come out and given us something that is not good enough. So I think that we all have all of the rights to be upset about this and to speak boldly about and to hold them accountable as to why this needs to be done. And I think that Nigerians should really stress on this, especially now that they are at the consolidation point. We must stress on it, whether it's by the media, through protests, by speaking individually. We must ensure that this line, mandatory electronic transmission, is added to the act. Yeah, that's my.
Segun, let me ask, why are we insisting on the word mandatory? I mean, I want you to sound like a broken record in this case, but also most importantly, have we not found ourselves in a position where we found ourselves with the tax law, where some people say that's not what we passed, some people say no, that's what we passed. Okay, let's do it behind closed doors. Are we there again?
No, I don't think it's exactly the same thing, even though the underlying issues are similar. This is just a case of representatives of the people working against the interests of the people, whether it's by duplication, fake legislation, or in this case, ignoring very obvious, clear, desperately required improvements to the electoral process, and just doing what they want to do to serve their own interests. It's all the same. This is elected officials working against the will of the people. The 2023 elections made it abundantly clear what needed to happen to the process. It was, Ebenezer said it all. And I think it bears saying that all legislation all over the world gets improved based on precedence and experience. So you look through the experience of a people, the process that they've gone through, the procedures that they've deployed in trying to achieve an objective, and then you take the flaws that came out during the operation of those procedures, and you legislate on them so that the legislation can grow, can improve, and then you find that improvements happen over time. What the Senate in particular has done in this case is to deliberately deny us of the opportunity of abundantly, clearly, desperately needed improvements in the process. Like Ebenezer said, we all know, anybody that's in this space knows that the inflection point in an election process where the most damage is done is collation and transmission. That's where it all happens. It's never at the polling booth. you are the polling booth, you vote, you stay back, as we all do now, since about 2 or 3 elections ago now. You stay back, they count in your presence, you take pictures of the EC3A form that they post there with the results, and you go home. But a lot of havoc happens at the collation center where people, literally cancel results. In fact, in some cases, they use Biro to cancel results and rewrite it right there. The impunity is crazy. Now, this provision for mandatory transmission is required to take the discretion from INEC. Right now, INEC has discretion according to the interpretation of the Supreme Court. I disagree with the Supreme Court, by the way, because I don't think that if you follow the definitions of how laws work, that the Supreme Court was correct in saying that INEC has discretion. They do not have discretion. The law is very clear. The electoral guidelines released by INEC, it's a document of law. It's a document that says we shall do this, right? That derives its power from the Electoral Act, in this case, the Electoral Act 2022, which derives its power from the Constitution. So if the Electoral Act says that INEC shall issue guidelines by which it will conduct electoral operations, once those guidelines are issued, they become law. For the Supreme Court to then say no, the law gives them discretion to choose which way to go. I'm sorry, I disagree. But to fix that so-called discretion that the Supreme Court has given to INEC, all the Senate needed to do was to include a compulsory or mandatory transmission, electronic transmission of results. And they've chosen not to, and it's a shame. They failed Nigerians. And I think it's up to us, like my brother said, to make as much noise as we can. We have to make noise about this. I don't know whether that would change anything, but at least let them know that we're not happy.
Interesting. I want to talk about the House of Representatives, and both of you can chime in here. On a lighter note, I think that they're all possibly going to get our votes, but then maybe in the Senate we'll have to take they all have to go home. But the House of Representatives appears to be more open to these, reforms, and they've taken a stand, obviously. And so for many people, they would say that this is a divergence of sorts. So what accounts for this divergence? Is this ideological? Is it political? Is it? I don't understand why they seem to take a stand, but the Senate seems to be playing hanky panky.
Yeah, no, the House had concluded this in December, right? I think it was December 19th or so. The House had concluded this, had approved it, and had said, okay, they're waiting for when the Senate finishes so they can then harmonize, and then they send to this thing. And what the House approved was in line with what the civil society organizations and the citizens have been asking for. So mandatory electronic transmission is in the House's own, the House's own conversation. So and trust me, both of when the presentation was made, the bill first came into the House, it was the same bill that went to both of them. So if the same bill came to both of you, and we're seeing two different, outputs, the question now rises to say, what was the thinking process behind this? And I've heard many people, before my brother Segun comes, and I've heard many people say that, technology is a problem. You cannot say mandatory electronic because there's no technology in Nigeria. I'll use a very sad example, but I don't know if people notice that these terrorists who have been operating in the forests have been using the internet to post on TikTok. How are they posting on TikTok? And if the INEC, the Electoral Commission, has a budget of 1 trillion naira as their budget, why can they not get internet capability for our beavers to be able to ensure that we transmit this? They don't have excuse.
I'm so sorry, we have to go on a break.
We'll be right back. Lagos, get ready! Something new has arrived in Ikoyi. Introducing the brand new Moneyfield head office, now open at number 105 Awolowo Road, Ikoyi. A modern banking space designed just for you. Faster service, smarter banking, and a team committed to helping you grow.
At Moneyfield, we provide a full range of financial solutions to support individuals, SMEs, and growing businesses. Our services include savings and investment products, personal and business loans, virtual accounts, salary and SME money loans, cards, USSD, dialing star 5684 hash to transact, and many more.
Visit us today at number 105 Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, and experience banking built on trust, innovation, and excellence. Or visit any of our 6 branches in Idumota, Onikan, Trade Fair, Oshodi Shopping Complex, Yaba, and Ijora.
Moneyfield Microfinance Bank. You are in good hands.
Hey there, mums and dads. Did you know that some children are picky eaters and also do not get enough fruits and vegetables from their diet? Well Kid Baby and Infant Syrup is a food supplement from Vitabiotics that contains 14 vitamins and minerals, including vitamin C and zinc, as well as flaxseed oil, which supports brain development and all-round health. Well Kid Baby and Infant Tasty Syrup is for children 3 months to 5 years of age. Give your young ones a good start with Well Kid Baby and Infant from Vitabiotics UK. Available in pharmacies near you.
Win from over 80 million naira in cash and exciting prizes in the Golden Hunt promo.
This promo, there's no need for advert anymore.
Because
my mom alone can hunt down any gist. How much more 80 million naira in prizes with the whole family involved?
Naija, let the Golden Hunt begin. Just buy any Golden Morn Golden Hunt 30 gram or 45 gram promo pack. Look inside for a unique code and dial star 8011 star 1 hash for a chance to win big. Promo ends April 15, 2026. Golden Morn. Make every day golden.
Every meal I cook must taste just right. Rich, delicious, full of love.
We hear you. Your Maggie Star in double cubes. Double the flavor, double the convenience. The same trusted taste you love. Maggie Star Double Cubes, made from fermented soya and other selected ingredients for that deep flavor and quality that only Maggie brings to your dishes.
Absolutely delicious.
Get Maggie Double Cubes today. Me and Maggie, so good together.
Hey, yeah, now Rabi, with Orabi, but it's strong, my mouth is fresh, it clean well, oh, now Orabi. Strong teeth Orabi, fresh bread Orabi, 24/7 with Orabi. Strong teeth Orabi.
Yes, so get your own Orabi 130 grams pack now for 1,500 naira. Now Nigerian Dental Association self deal with Orabi.
ready for a win? Enjoy your meal with an ice cold Coca-Cola, and you could win your share of 600 million naira. That's 2 millionaires made every day, plus over 50 million naira in weekly prizes. Simply buy any participating glass or plastic bottle of Coke, scan the QR code on the cover of the glass bottle or on the label of the plastic bottle, and enter the code under the cover for your chance to be a millionaire and win cool prizes. Buy, scan, find, win. T's and C's apply.
Every meal I cook must taste just right. Rich, delicious, full of love.
We hear you. Your Maggie Star in double cubes. Double the flavor, double the convenience. The same trusted taste you love. Maggie Star Double Cubes, made from fermented soya and other selected ingredients for that deep flavor and quality that only Maggie brings to your dishes.
Absolutely delicious.
Get Maggie Double Cubes today. Me and Maggie, so good together.
No matter where you are, city or out of town, you deserve a great reliable connection. The Airtel 5G Smart Connect not only delivers that, but also gives you unlimited data to stream, download, and browse in your home or office. It also comes with wider coverage and super fast speed, all for just 25,000 naira. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to start enjoying unlimited data now. Airtel.
Lagos, this is for you and your family. If you're buying for your home, your kitchen, chairs, tables, storage, toys for the children, and the small things that make everyday life easier, there is one place you should experience. Orca. Orca is for all Nigerians. Whatever your budget, you'll find Orca at Eco Atlantic, Victoria Island. Welcoming, easy to access, and worth the visit. Listen to this. Enjoy 20% off on all products at Orca. Yes, 20% off everything. From now till February 28, 2026. Come and see it yourself. Bring your family. It's more than shopping. It's a moment everyone will enjoy. Visit Orca today. Buy what you need. Enjoy the experience. Orca, everything your family needs in one place.
You want to hear all about it? Welcome to the Talk Station. It's more conversation and more conversation.
And then weeks later, there was a U-turn. Well, there was a coup.
Military arrest 65-year-old woman supplying drugs to Boko Haram.
I mean, they know where they are. Why don't the army go there and destroy the whole of that place?
Why is it only concerned about politics? Bringing everybody into the APC.
Nothing did not take place. Those people are still in the custody of their abductors. Another one has taken place.
As Yusuf dumps opposition for APC. In fact, everybody in Kano has dumped the NNPP.
So Kwankwaso coming out now to say, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that he does know, right?
I don't know what these guys will use to campaign again come 2027.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. This is Hard Facts.
Well, the biggest story, if you are Nigerian right now, or following stories in Nigeria, is that the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has rejected the electronic transmission of results come 2027. How does this sit with the average Nigerian voter, especially those who are advocates of free, fair, and credible elections based off of what they experienced in 2023? How do we even out the lines? How do we make sure that, you know what they say about being twice bitten and twice, twice bitten and twice shy, something like that. I don't know. I'm a bit, but are Nigerians going to be experiencing the same lapses in the Electoral Act and the electoral process as they did in 2023? And these are the questions that we are raising this afternoon with my guest Segun Sopitan and of course Ebenezer Wikina, all joining me via Zoom, and we've been talking about this issue of why the House of Representatives were on the side of the people as opposed to the Senate. Ebenezer, you were saying something before we went on that break, and then of course I'll bring Segun to chime in on that.
I was just talking about some of the naysaying that has been going on social media. People are saying, "Oh, the reason why the Senate is saying this is because there's no technology anywhere. Oh, there's no internet in the local communities." And I was giving an example of the fact that the terrorists that have been terrorizing the nation have been posting on TikTok and social media platforms very, very boldly, and they've been using internet. So what kind of internet have they been using that we cannot use for our elections? Because these guys are in the heart of the forest. So
I have the answer, because I had the spokesperson for Mr. President, Daniel Bwala, who said that they were using Elon Musk's internet, which cannot be monitored from Nigeria.
No problem. So let's use Elon Musk's internet to send our results from all of the polling units. Because if it can work in the heart of the bush, it can work in our polling units. It can definitely work there. So that's my response to that. And I'm also surprised as well that the House and the Senate are having differing opinions.
I thought they stood on a mandate. Segun, I saw you shaking your head. What is your what's your take quickly?
Well, I mean, Daniel Bwala is a very funny guy, and he's been known to say, with all due respect to him, he's been known to say a lot of, let me just call it funny, just for the sake of decency, funny stuff in the public domain. It flies in the face of reason that anybody would suggest that in 2026, that technology on the part of a country as well-resourced, in quotes, as Nigeria, would be a deterrent, an obstacle for the use for transparency in the process. It makes no sense. But to speak to the points that you make, and it's a very interesting point, Maryann, because I've noticed this over the years. For some reason, and I've got my theories, you find that the Senate and the House of Reps The House of Reps over the years have always tended to take positions and do things that have always appeared a bit more people facing than the Senate. And you know the funny thing, let me say something very funny that a lot of listeners might find funny. Do you know that what helped me to determine which color which chamber uses was this issue? I realized that the House of Reps is more patriotic, in quotes, and it's incidental that their chairs are green.
Oh, come
While the
on.
red chamber, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but it's never failed me. So look at this. All of the controversies, all those controversies that were swept under the carpet, just think about it. All the hearings, the public hearings, the MD of one place lumping, a majority of those hearings happen at the House of Reps. It's the House of Reps that calls forth for investigations. Of course, the Senate does as well. But the House of Reps calls for a lot of investigations into a lot of issues, concerning Nigerians, and they have always tended to side with the people. So I don't know why. My theory is that the Senate, because you tend to need to spend more money, you tend to need to have more clout to get into the Senate, and therefore the incentive to be compromised is higher. That's my theory. I think that the House of Reps people tend to be a bit closer to the people and therefore less prone to these very unreasonable positions that some of these legislators take. So that's that about that. It's a theory, but I can't really prove it.
Let's talk the impact on voters, because already I got firsthand the reaction of a lot of my callers who are still eating right now to start calling. I guess that they're mad at the fact that, or maybe not the fact that they're mad at the temerity of the Senate to pull a fast one on them, and that's if the Senate thinks they pulled a fast one on us. But how do you think that this decision affect the confidence of the average voter? Could it worsen the issue of voter apathy that we're still trying to manage as we speak? Segun, I think you go first and then bring Ebenezer back.
Okay, interesting question again, Maryann. And if you remember, in 2022, like Ebenezer had said earlier, Mahmoud Yakubu, the then INEC chairman, came out in public. He spoke publicly. He gave assurances. He described the way IREV works. Described all of the technology, the live transmission, and promised. In fact, it was almost as if he swore that those things were going to be used. And on the basis of the things that he said, some of us went on air. I particularly went on air on as many platforms and channels that I'm privileged to be invited to periodically to speak, to assure people that, no, look, this is a rigging-proof technology and mechanism. That rigging will still happen, but not at the scale that we used to see, and that we should see greater transparency, and then encourage, my audience, wherever I was speaking, to come out to vote. So you imagine the loss of credibility, the disappointment that I faced when INEC did the exact opposite and suffered a glitch in only one election, in 3 elections that happened on the same day at the same location. Transmission of results failed in only one. That's as crazy as it can be. So what one would have expected? A lot of apathy resulted as from that incident, and you find that people are increasingly disenchanted and disinterested in the process. What you would have required from the Senate to reverse that and re-energize, the voting public, is to then legislate that thing that INEC did and say we have ensured that INEC does not have discretion anymore, which is what the House of Reps did. So unfortunately, with this move of the Senate, I think you are going to see even more apathy going into 2027 elections. I think people are just going to tell you that they don't care, because at the end of the day, there's going to be a glitch and INEC will revert to paper transmission.
I don't know if not caring, and I'm coming to you now, Ebenezer, helps to solve our problems, because it's now hard to put food on the table. The government would argue different, that food is cheap now, but is transportation cheap? Our house rent's cheaper. As it is now, I might be moving back to Calabar because I can no longer afford to pay rent in Lagos. And several other issues. But let me come to you, Ebenezer. young voters especially, who are losing faith in, the process, the electoral reforms. Many people would tell you that these are the guys who are supposed to be the change makers, because they're not like us, the millennials. They're not like the baby boomers, like Segun here. They throw caution to the wind, but then it looks like the tricks that our politicians are playing on us seems to be putting a dampener on them. So how does this affect the confidence of the young people who are going forward? And if they decide also to throw their hands up in the air, what does it change?
Sadly, it changes nothing, and I feel like that's sadly where the people who are trying to play to this kind of system, who wants us to feel like we can't do anything about this, so we're just sad about this. Oh, Nigeria, it's not in our hand. Let's not vote. Let's stay in the house. I think that's what they want us to feel, and I would say I've been a little bit encouraged by some of the social media conversations, because I'm seeing people saying, I'm going out to protest, who's coming out with me? I'm going somewhere, and I'm just seeing people angry about these things happening, and I'm happy, because alternatively, you could have seen people just say, you know what, this is just Nigeria. It's not my fault. How do I jackpot? How do I, where is the next country to go to? I mean, we saw a CNN report yesterday that Nigerians were even going to join the army in Russia. So I think that's like, just seeing how we've reacted, at least a particular percentage of the reactions had kept me a bit hopeful. And I think that we need to remotivate people. I think there's a need to get people to say, like, you should be the one calling the shots. The people in the office serve us. They are public servants, and we should be the one calling the shots. And we need to ensure that we make our voices heard on this, and sustain the conversation as long as possible until what we want is actually done. So I think that it definitely should put the dampener on anybody listening. I mean, I for one stood out at that election. I mean, I voted at the governorship and the presidential. I stood at the presidential election from 8 a.m., my wife and I, from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m., and we didn't vote. That's how crazy it was in River State. We didn't vote. We stood from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. I posted the videos online. They're all online for people to check. It was either the beavers was not working, or the beavers they brought was only for surnames from A to J. They were going to bring another one and come. The other one that came, it's not coming on. The battery is not working. So all of those kind of things, I think, have continued to plague our elections for a very long time. And I think it's high time that we actually do stop it. So that's why I was giving that. I mean, it's a sad example. Nobody should be talking about the terrorists who are killing people. I mean, killed 200 plus people in Kwara. But I'm saying, if those people, as mundane and and evil as they are, can use technology, why can't we use technology to solve our own problems? And the problem of transparency has been one of the biggest problems, I think, that has held us back as a nation. And I think just seeing this as well is making me feel like even the president and the ruling party is not confident of themselves. We are seeing so much decamping and all the things happening everywhere. Decamping, joining the party. Every state now is almost with the ruling party. With that kind of situation, why not let the election to be free and fair? If you claim to have the entire country and have everybody on your side, it should be easy for you to make it free and fair, so that you prove that you're the number one person in the country, right? But stalling the system and holding the system down is making me feel like you're not even confident in yourself. You're not confident that you really are as popular as you claim to be. So that's my challenge as well to the Senate and to the presidency. If you really do claim that you're as popular as you are, make the system free and fair. Let's have accountability and transparency, and let's see and let the most popular person and the most useful person win the election.
Come and prove your mettle. That's what you're saying. Okay, let's open up the phone lines, Lagos. We have just about 8 to 10 minutes. 0201 277 0993 0201 465 7190. You could join the conversation on X. Use the hashtag hardfacts. On WhatsApp 0809-5975-805. Join the conversation. You have 60 seconds. Please go straight to the point. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Maryann, how are you? God bless you. Maryann, I can't hear you, but I'm sure you are hearing me.
I can hear
My position is just exactly what your guest just said. You said people are decamping. People are decamping, governors are decamping, everybody is coming to your side, and you are still afraid to make sure that the electoral reforms are implemented. So you begin to ask yourself exactly what the problem is. I think this man told us his ambition is to rule this country for, he has gotten that ambition. If this is the only thing he can be put on Nigerians, free, fair, and credible election, transparent election, then if he wins, let him win. But like I told you, all these things, they are just gimmicks. Their idea of structure is to rig elections. That's all. They don't have any other idea. I dare him to conduct free, fair, and credible elections.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. 020127709993. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Bluetooth mode. Hello, Maryann Okon. AB speaker from Ekpe. I think there is an issue here we are not trying to see. It's not that the president are scared. They are telling you that there are some issues, especially in the north, even in some Niger Delta places. Electronic transfer cannot work. Why not ask that, okay, how can we solve that problem? They are saying that they are scared. See, please, the media should also help in this issue.
Abi, I don't want to believe that you think that we're all stupid, that these questions have not been asked and answered. I don't want to believe that you're also that backward.
To you.
No, hold on. I don't also want to believe that. Abi, can I speak, please? Can I speak?
Yes.
I feel that you think that everyone who's listening to this show, everyone who's ever pushed for reforms, is stupid. That you would pick up your phone and tell us that we should be looking for how to solve the problems. How do you think we got here?
The problem of electronic transfer in the northern region.
Thank you for calling. Thank you for calling. 60 seconds is all you have. Please go straight to the point. Thank you, Sheriff. Welcome to Hard Fact. Hello, go ahead, please.
Good evening, Maryann. Can you hear me?
Please go ahead.
Okay. God bless your guest speaker. God bless him. God bless those who will come out there to speak that bitter truth that APC and the people will never like to hear. But it all. I don't want to add. He has said the truth. Let Nigerians wake up and tell this National Assembly, this Senate, that has been a rubber stamp. They should show them. They should show them that we are tired of them. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. 020127709993. Welcome to Hard Fact.
Hello, Maryann. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Go ahead, please. Yes.
Yes, you have Raymond on the line. Okon National Assembly as a co-lawmaker. This time around,
no. I corrected somebody earlier on.
You know what I mean by Okon National Assembly?
No. I'm going to let you go. Let's be decent in our conversations, please. Do not do that. If I call everybody from the north, Musa, you're not going to like it. Don't do that. Please, be decent. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Yes, this is Kenny from Shomolu. Maryann, I just want to call Nigerians to be more patriotic. This is the time for us all to go and obtain our voters' card. Let us come out en masse and vote. God will give us victory and put the right people in position of power. All those politicians that are currently in positions of power should campaign and validate what they have done and prove to us that they deserve our votes again. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for calling. Hello, welcome to Hard Fact.
Hi, Maryann.
Yes, welcome.
Good afternoon. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, I greet your guests, Ebenezer and your colleagues, your guests. Well, I listen, and I think this democracy most of us fought for. I personally fought for this with my colleagues somewhere, southeast. We fought for it and we have it. I think it's government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So we have to stand up and say what we want. I think we'll get it. We voted these people in.
We tell them what we want. On that, we stand. Mandatory electronic transmission. That is where we stand. And that was what agreed. I don't want they are changing this. It's not what we expect from our senators. Let them do something that will be meaningful, at least for once. Let's have this transparent for once.
Thank you.
Credible, free, and fair election.
Thank you for calling. 60 seconds. Please go straight to the point. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello.
You're not supposed to call the female line, please. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Yeah, good evening, Maryann.
Yes, good evening.
It's Emmanuel. I'm speaking to you from Epe. I think we are mixing something. Is the IREF, is the statement, the word IREF in the Electoral Act? Because if there is something like the IREF shall be used for collation, that is when we are safe. Because even if you say electronic transmission of results or transfer of results, it was in the previous this thing, and the court never admitted it. And for your guest who said he disagreed with the Supreme Court, that the Supreme Court is wrong, how dare he say so? How many houses has he built for the justice? Good
evening. Thank you for calling. Welcome to Hard Facts. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Good evening, Maryann.
Good evening.
My name is Mazulia. I think I agree with Segun. He said House of Reps are more intelligent than House of Assembly, are more responsible than House of Senate. So what we do is that we must not accept anything if it's not the way Nigeria wants it to be. Instead, they will postpone the election and they have to amend it to that very test Nigeria wants. That is my own opinion. At the same time, Madam, if you can be able to bring that up for your radio station, please, we would like it so that you ask him question. Do you want to kill all the Nigerians?
Have you ever seen him anywhere else? Have you seen him do any interview? Please, don't be sending me something that I cannot do. Thank you for calling Mazude. Gentlemen, before we go, what's the way forward? Because I have to be here every day to tell people. And Segun, I think that you and I have been down this road, even Ebenezer, for years, just talking about the same issue over and over and over again and telling people why it's the power lies with us. But where do we go from here?
Well, let me take, before we talk about the way forward, I think it's also important to
We don't have time. We have 40 seconds. You guys have 40 seconds.
So I'll be very, very quick. The reduction of the timeline for the elections from 360 days, announcement of timetable and all that, is a landmine and a potential. Look, the elections next year are going to be fractious, and the operational hula baloo is just waiting to happen just because of that provision, and it's very unfortunate. While the Senate was busy chasing Natasha Akpoti up and down, they should have been working on this election. They should have been working on this so that we would have enough time. They would have passed this thing by last year. So it's very unfortunate. Way forward. Look, I think Ebenezer said it. Let us agitate. I think it was Rapuru as well that also said Nigeria belongs to us. It's democracy is government of the people, by the people, for the people. We have to tell the Senate that it's electronic transmission or nothing.
Or no deal. Ebenezer, 40 seconds. I've got to go. Our time is fast spent.
Stay alert. I think that's my point. Stay alert. If we need to come out and demonstrate, let's come out and demonstrate. If you need to call into radio, call into radio. If you need to tell people around you, tell people around you. Let's all stay alert. Let's be informed and let's ask questions. Now it's at the harmonization stage where the House and the Senate committees are meeting. So let's stay alert, listen to the news. Once we hear that there's anything coming out that we don't like, let's all come out and demand for the right thing. Yeah. That's my thought.
Thank you, gentlemen. Segun Sopitan of ACT Network, Ebenezer Wikina of Policy Shapers. Thank you so much for coming on the show. But I will leave every Nigerian with this. Elections are not only about voting day, they're about results day. Because the power of the ballot is not in the thumbprint, it's in the transmission. If Nigerians cannot trust how results move, how they are uploaded, how they are protected, then confidence in democracy begins to erode. I'm Maryann Okon, thanking you for being part of the show. Bye-bye.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.